Boulder or Denver, Colorado? Which city is better? Is there even a difference? Way more than you think. In fact, even though they're only 30 miles apart, it's not even a comparison. Let me show you what I mean. The first thing you'll notice almost immediately is the difference in size and population of Denver and Boulder. So Denver, being the main city of Colorado, has a population of around 715,000 people. However, the overall metro area has a population of almost 3 million people. Now, Boulder, which is technically part of the Denver metro area, has a city population of 105,000 people. So comparing city numbers alone, Boulder's population is just 15% of Denver's. Way smaller. Now, what this means is you can expect Denver to feel a lot more crowded and more difficult to move around in. The total land area is around 154 square miles, with a sizable chunk of that being the Denver International Airport out east, compared to Boulder's size of just 27 square miles. That is a huge difference. But even with that, Denver is way more compact, especially if you're within the center of the city amidst all the skyscrapers and along the numerous apartment buildings. Boulder feels lower to the ground, partly because it's designed to prevent any block to the beautiful mountains that you see next to you. Between either city, Denver is going to be tighter, more crowded, and generally harder to move around in. That being said, we're talking about the cities themselves. But if you've been looking at a specific region of the greater Denver-Boulder area, reach out to me. I speak with people like you every week who are interested in moving into Colorado, and they've been doing as much research as they can before taking the first step. If you have any questions or are ready to start this process, my information is pinned below. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. I look forward to hearing from you. But for now, let's move on to the next comparison. Now, Boulder is a smaller city in land and population. Not to mention, as you can already tell, provides incredible views of the Front Range compared to Denver. As a result, and from a few factors that I will mention in a minute, Boulder's real estate market is much more expensive than Denver's. At the time of this video, the median price of a single-family home in Boulder is $1.15 million, compared to Denver's median price of $640,000. That's insane. Boulder is 80% more expensive than Denver, and the median size of Boulder homes are around 2,240 square feet. So only a few hundred square feet larger than Denver homes. It's no joke. The Boulder real estate market has been crazy in the past few years. This can be a huge negative, especially if you're restrained on price. But even rent is high here. The median rent across the board in Boulder is $2,800 a month, compared to Denver's median rent of $2,100 a month. A 33% difference. I will stress, if you're looking to move to Colorado and want to rent, Boulder is a much harder place to afford a one-bedroom apartment. It will be financially advantageous to bunk up with a few roommates or have multiple incomes coming in. Now, tying back to Denver being a much larger city, yes, it does have a lot more people and is more crowded. With this, that means there's a lot more variety and diversity regarding shopping, exploring, entertainment, etc. Simple things first, like all the major Colorado sports teams are in Denver, as well as other major attractions within the city, but also things like the nightlife and restaurants. Some of the best restaurants in Colorado, I'd argue, are within the city. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there aren't fantastic spots throughout the state. However, I'd argue Denver has the largest variety, even more than Boulder. Now, with that being said, it gets a little tricky here because it's not like Boulder is lacking in this department. The city here also boasts an impressive food scene, as well as a ton of things to do for its residents. Yes, the main sports attraction here is CU Boulder and the Colorado Buffaloes, but then there's all the different outdoor activities, shops, and restaurants within the city itself that'll catch your eye. Not to mention, Colorado is known for its breweries, and in Denver, a large majority of them are found here, with also a sizable amount in Boulder too. So in all, Boulder does offer steep competition in this topic, given its relative size and population, but compared to Denver, it just doesn't match up. The main city wins by sheer number and size. Now, I will give Boulder its due here, that it may not be as grand as Denver with what it offers its residents within the city, although I will be honest, it's quite impressive. But with one look at the area, you can tell that the main driver for Boulder is the outdoors. Being so close to the Front Range, especially with the Flatirons literally next door to the city, the main culture of Boulder, I'd argue, is that of the outdoors, at least to some degree. There are so many hiking trails to explore, mountains to climb, a creek to tube down in the spring and summer, and a reservoir to paddleboard or boat on. And that's just a few things here. There is so much to do in Boulder and Boulder County. It's hard to list them all, but that's a big reason why the city gets over 1 million tourists a year. Now Denver, although being close-ish to the mountains, could argue isn't that removed from the outdoors. But within the city limits itself, there really isn't that much apart from some local and state parks. It's almost completely urban through and through. And you definitely don't get the ease of proximity to the outdoors like you do in Boulder, which might be the icing on the cake as to why so many people find Boulder a desirable place, even just to visit. Is it better than Denver? Let me know what you think below. Now, I've stressed visiting Boulder because, well, let's be honest, that 1.15 million price tag might have been a lot to hear, but that doesn't mean enjoying Boulder is out of reach. A lot of people who love this part of the state choose other suburbs nearby that are much easier on the wallet. I cover a few that are close by in these videos. Much more affordable locations and provide easy access into Boulder. I think you'll like them. This is Life on the Front Range. I'll see you there.